I couldn't answer that because basically I stopped buying the collector's editions now because I thought that the stuff in it was shitty. All right. Honestly, a lot of them were. Okay. Let me give backstory. For those who don't know, I've been around for 16 years. Maybe many of you don't know this context. Okay. When I started as a YouTuber and I started making money doing YouTube videos, I started a series of videos called Release Day Unboxing. What this series was is I would go to GameStop and physically buy a game. All right. And then I would unbox it live in a video, showing you what the case looked like, what the game looked like, reading the materials, showing you the instruction booklet, whatever else it came with. You know, it was interesting to see what you would get with any particular game. So originally I would just do it with the standard game, and the series caught on and people really liked it. So people started asking me, would you get the better edition so that way you have more to show in these videos? So because I was making so much money on YouTube back in the day, I said, sure, why not? I can splurge. I literally was getting every collector's edition possible. Like, I got collector's editions of fighting games, RPGs, Call of Duty, you know, racing games. I remember one game I had like this fucking drone or some shit. You know, I had everything, anything you could get. I had an RC car that came with a Call of Duty game. So it became this thing. On release day, DSP would have the collector's edition of the game, unbox it, show off all of the content, okay, and then play the game. So that was neat. It was like that unboxing video would upload first before I started playing the game, and it would be a lead into the playthrough that was coming later that day. You'd get excited and hyped for it by watching the unboxing video. People loved it. It got, no exaggeration, those videos got tens of thousands of views. In some cases, those unboxing videos paid for the game before I ever booted it. So any video I made after was pure profit for me. Okay? Those were the days. And then what ended up happening was, over time, these game developers decided to stop including good stuff with their games. You would buy a game and you release the unboxing. You open it up. Okay, there's the disc. There's no instruction booklet, no warnings pamphlet, no additional content whatsoever. The box is a bare bones box that barely explains what the game is. Like, release the unboxing, there's nothing to unbox, right? It's the most boring video ever because there's nothing in it. So literally the video series became obsolete on its own as game developers pushed away from putting goodies and interesting things into their physical copies of games. So over that 5-year span that I was doing release day unboxing consistently, dude, I unboxed a ton of stuff. I remember like getting an RPG and you open it up and it's got a separate art book with all kinds of concept art and cool art. It's got an additional CD that's the soundtrack. It's got another CD that's like a dev documentary on the making of the game. Right? Then it's got codes, DLC codes for in-game content, you know, a skin, a weapon, or whatever. And you could stand there for an hour unboxing this thing because there's so much to look at. Or, you know, getting a deluxe Uncharted, and it's a full-scale mini statue of Nathan Drake with a gun accessory and everything. You can pose and everything. Like, what the hell? Wow. You know, some really neat stuff that was in some of those. But, man, some of them were shit. I remember, I think it was a Splinter Cell game, and it had like a plane, a toy plane. And I was like, what do I do with this? First of all, this isn't like one scene of the game. It's not even like representative of the game. And it's like, why? What is this? And why do I want this? You know, some of them were just really stupid, but some of them were great. You know, all depended on the game. So what was my favorite? You know, that I can't attest to. I'd have to go back and I would have to watch all the videos and look at all the ones that I ever got and kind of then weigh and balance and compare, which, you know, I don't go back and watch my own stuff at all. So I've never gone back and watched the release day unboxings to know what would have been one of the coolest ones. I would have to go do that. Maybe, again, that's something we could do in the future. I'm now 16 years into this. You realize that? 16 years I've been making content on YouTube. Probably at this point, I'm wondering if I'm up to 100,000 videos or not. I might be at this point. That's a lot of content. And at this point, there's just so much to reminisce about and to have nostalgia over. Maybe that's something we could do one day. Go back and start watching unboxings and see how they were back in the day, right? It was such a different feeling.